Hey everybody, this is Calvin Waite. I trade crypto for a living. I'm not a registered or licensed financial advisor, planner, or broker, so nothing on this channel should be taken as a recommendation to buy or sell. I also trade all of these things, so I probably have a vested interest in there. But there's plenty of entertainment value and lots of education, so this will be awesome. For those of you who didn't know, my subscription channel is live. So look at the link in the description over at cryptoinfluencers.com and you can see how I make all of my trades and what I do and what I think about everything. This channel is for more hypothetical and looking at trends, and the other one is for actual trading, so you might be interested in that. What's going on, everybody? Oh man, Wednesdays never disappoint. Do Wednesdays ever disappoint? No, they do not. It is always insane on Wednesdays. I don't know why, but what a day we're having. Pretty wild. I will try not to pour too much cold water on everything, but we'll see what happens. All right, Dilemma's made it to chat. Awesome. Very cool. We're ready to rock and roll here. Let's see. First of all, just remind you, cryptoinfluencers.com is my home base. So if you haven't set up a subscription here, you should. This is free, right here. And it's all the stuff that I do, it gets published here first. Okay, I think that's pretty much it. I guess the only other announcement is, and I'm just gonna find this on live, so that's real great. Hang on. Yeah, so I'm joining Twitter Spaces in 2 days at 10 o'clock Mountain Time. You're welcome to join. You can bring your tomatoes and throw them at me. That's totally cool. But I'll be chatting up with these guys, which will be fun. Be cool to do something like that. Let's dig into what's happening in our chart. So, the past few days, I've been speculating and kind of warning people and getting people emotionally ready for a bull trap. So is this it? That is the question that we'd like to answer and try to figure out today. Earlier with the Pro Channel, I circled these two moves, and it's very, very interesting how sometimes things come back around. And what I'm seeing here is a strong move, very short-lived consolidation, very short consolidation. It almost gave us nothing back. Then another strong move, consolidation, and then we had one final move up, and it got really volatile up here, and then we kind of dropped off. Well, this is our big move. We're getting volatile, and I think we did this drop off, which matches this. So I think either way, we're in for a pullback of some kind. The question will be, do we break our top? So this is the top that we are watching very closely. 30,500 is the magic number. If we get a close above this, then this thing has a little bit, this probably has some more legs, but the move is feeling a little overextended just because we've pretty much missed our, we've missed our support by about 9%. And at the very closest, if we were to take a measurement from our lowest wick to our highest wick, we're still missing this by about 5%, 4.7%. It is very likely that we come back and intersect with one of these. I mean, I don't know if I would count this. This high was 26,386. 26. Yeah, even this didn't intersect. We have nothing to use as support from this move here. And most often, these things happen in threes. Most often they do. And we have got one solid move with a decent pullback. Our second solid move is here, and we do not have a decent pullback. We have a return to our consolidation happening right now. And this bounce outside of our consolidation is, I believe, going to be short-lived. I don't think that it's got quite enough mustard behind it to really make it happen. We really need a touch on the 200-week moving average. This is the number that we need, and a wick would probably find its way to intersect some of these right here. It would be a pretty good handoff. And then move number 3 happens, and the third move is going to be the most dynamic. So it should be, of these moves, the next one should be the top, which in the formation of head and shoulders, in the Elliott wave theory, usually the last one is the most watched by retail. It's the most hyped up. It's the most anticipated. So emotionally, people are like, oh, I missed the boat. I missed the boat. Oh, wow. I guess it's dead. This was a fake out. This whole thing is dead. Oh, shoot. It was real. We're actually in a bull market. I'm going to wait for the next pullback, and then I'm in. And then you get some kind of pullback, and we start moving up, and people are finally on board. So emotionally, the majority of traders will push up the final leg of this kind of 5-leg move the highest. Whatever the top is that this gives us is likely to be it for quite a while. So this is kind of our big chance. So that's kind of what we're looking for. I'm in a $24 short profit. Congrats, Pascal. That's awesome. So, but anyway, pulling back, pushing, pulling back, pushing. This is I think this is going to be a bull trap. What's very, very confusing is that when we broke above here, this ended up being a bull trap. But a bull trap is normally lower than our prior high. Normally you have your high, and then you have a bull trap here, and then that's what pulls you back. And this will be most likely a bull trap if we stay below. If by some reason we manage to overcome the top here, we will probably run to our 100-week moving average. And I've been eyeing this target for a long time, and it has stabilized at about 33,500. So I don't know if during this move here we'll reach that and then have a pullback. But there's a lot of beautiful structure here. We're just missing a gap here. And normally this thing will be filled in at some point. So I'm very excited about this move. It enabled me to take a partial short on my long position, just enough to get my mouth wet on a potential pullback. If we continue to go long, I still have a ton of long exposure, but this particular location is a very sweet spot for potential pullback. So I couldn't help myself, and I took the chance. Well, there are some other things going on with this chart. And one of the things that's happening is that we have been in a green zone for an extended period of time. This green zone is currently 44 days long. And where does a green zone end? The green zone will end when we get a close below our 50. And our 50, we just touched it for the past 2 days. So we've gone without touching it. On day 1 was the last time we touched the 50. We've been above it for 42 days. On day 42 and 43, we did touch it, and this is a clean bounce off the 50. So a lot of people are pointing to this and saying, oh, look how strong we are. We're just going to get out of here, and we're just on our way up, bulls forever. And, I'm not going to cry if that ends up being the case. But I also think that we've been, structurally, there are a couple of problems with our chart. The most obvious being that we hit resistance and came back for a support here, And then when we popped out, we dropped right back down into our range and hit the bottom of our range and the top of our range. So we are playing back in an area that we shouldn't be touching. We should have bounced off of this if we were going to do a continuation. The fact that we're here means that there's a lot of weakness in the bulls. And what needed to happen is we needed a bull trap of some kind to kind of shake out the rest of the bear, or the bulls, and give the bears a chance to breathe. And then the bulls can rush in with a lot better structure. What happened here is the bull trap that's happening right now was facilitated by the banking news. Everyone is saying, oh yeah, look at Bitcoin, we're going up because of the banking news. News is always a misdirection. The charts or whatever can play out in such a way that they feed on news events. So if there's something remotely helpful to help whales get a bull trap in, they're going to use it. And so it's just the way things just line up. I don't believe, I think some of this was fueled by the banking thing, but I think it was sparked by whales because we need a bull trap here. And they're pretty happy about grabbing liquidity below this line before one final flush out. We'll get a little further into the details there, but let's go back to this 44 days in the green zone. What I want to do is I want to look and see what is typical of the size of a green zone. Like how long do we normally make it in a green zone? These green zones, they're obviously a bull market. You have all of your trends going the right direction. The 50 and the 100 are sloping upwards, and we have the 50 above the 100 that's above the 200. So everything is flying. This is bull market territory, but these things don't last forever, and there's usually an expiration date on them. So the last time we had a tiny little green zone, we pulled back, found support on the 100 and the 200, but it was practically the 100 that we maintained, and then we broke back through and we were on. So let's go and look in history and see other times when we exited a red zone and we had some kind of a green zone. So let's look at this one. This is very interesting. We did not start the green zone on this candle, so this has got a different shape. We started earlier, but let's just measure it anyway. We'll just get kind of a gut check for how long these things are. This particular one was 30 days. So strong move, strong pullback, strong move. Look at this bull trap. So sneaky. This is a stinker. Normally a bull trap is lower than our prior push. This one popped us just above before it just totally wrecked us. So this bull trap was rough. But yeah, so there's a cue. Normally we would have another run from this. So this was pretty tough to trade. All right, this is full blow off top, end of the four-year cycle. So this is not going to be this won't count. But here's a red zone that we just ended, and then here's a green zone. Let's take a look at this one. Let's go from here to here. This green zone lasted 39 days. So we're at 44. This move is 39. We came off of the COVID bounce, COVID crash and bounce. We were playing pretty tightly with the 50. We finally had liftoff. In this case, we did not bounce off the 50. We touched it and went right through it. And where did we go? To the 100. Okay, so let's just keep that in our minds. Right now, we had a very strong move. Our green zone started when we got above this. We've come back down to it and we've bounced. So this is going to prolong our green zone a little bit longer. Besides, the 50 was really far away from price action up here. There was a huge gap. So you can see how the shape of this is completely different. I mean, it was still coming up for the first time. It was still definitely coming up. We hadn't touched it for a long time, and in this case, we just fell through it. Yeah, actually, this could have bounced off of it. We had a decent pullback. Well, 10%. 10%. I think we're below 10%. 11. Wow, it's really close. All right, well, it could have bounced off of it, but it didn't. So anyway, that's a decent data point for us to have in the back of our minds as well. Now, this one we exited a red zone, and we went super vertical. There was no exit, no entry into the green zone on our first big candle that blew through the 50. We were already above it. The amazing thing is that we managed to stay up here for this long. It was amazing. This was such a euphoria moment for during this time, I have to tell you. We exited, yeah, this is 65 days old. So this is 21 days longer than our current. So that means in the most incredible part of Bitcoin's history where we just really came out of a bear market with guns blazing, strong as humanly possible, this green zone is 21 days. That's 3 weeks from now. So definitely keep that one in the back of your mind. This is very, very important to think about because this was the strongest move we've seen. And our move is not this strong. The stronger the move, the longer you'll stay in the green zone. Of course, you pay for it later. But even with how strong this is, it's only 3 weeks longer than where we are. And ours is going to be extended because we just bounced off the 50. It's going to give us probably a couple more weeks of green, whether it's a bull trap or not. But look at this bull trap. See this? Big drop, big bounce, came back, bull trap right here. But we never overcame the top here, which is this is the kind of the scary spot. If you get above this, it's tough to see the bull trap. It's really hard. This one, when we rejected and we started pulling back, it's like, okay, we've got a bull trap for sure now. And then there was, by the time you knew it, by the end of this day, there was still a 20% drop on the table. Yikes. And then we did not touch this for a long time. We did not revisit this for a long time. This was a high for, it was like a year. No, it was 9 months, I think. Yeah, so this blow off top here, it took us more than a year, dude. October. Yeah, so this move took us a full year and 4 months. Yeah, it was brutal. This was so exciting because we just come up so hard. But when we exited and had our bull trap, we even got a second bull trap, and then we just came off. We were on our way here, and then Black Swan came and we had our COVID crash, and then finally we were able to pull it around. But so we've got 65 in the most positive, absolute best conditions for as long of a green zone as possible, which the longer the green zone, the more unhealthy, right? We're kind of seeing that. So that is a data point. Now I got to change charts so I can have more data. Now we have the one that it just went on and on. We went up and up and up and up, and it never ended. It was so awesome. This was amazing. These moves were so insane though. Living through this, they were giant, like 50% drops, just all over the place. It was super emotional. All right, so here we exited a red zone right down here. So we finally got off of our bear market, out of our red area, and we had a small green zone. So our current situation that mirrors this is the 2-day green zone. This one's an 11-day. So I wouldn't exactly put this on the map as what we're experiencing right now. The second one is more closely aligned with what we're doing, although we were already at blow off top by the time we entered the green zone. So this one is a little interesting. Huge pullback, bounce off the 50 sort of, and then we pulled back, and then this was our exit. So let's see, the time frame on this was a little longer. 74 bars. So from 44 to 74, this is even longer. That gives us 30 days if the most crazy unusual situation occurred. Why would this have lasted so long? Well, it's because of this. We exited the yellow zone here and entered, man, 79%. I was expecting that to be higher. %79% is exactly where we are. Amazing. Okay, I was not expecting that. Our chart and the emotionality is completely different, but we lifted off we lifted off the 50 so incredibly, and then we kind of oscillated sideways for long enough that we ended up tagging it. Man, for some reason I thought this move was bigger. 200. I guess I usually measure it to the peak. So this was a 2.5 times move to the peak. By the time we hit the exit, it was about double, well, 79%. That's what we just measured. So that's interesting. Mr. Spocky, welcome to chat. And Charlie, good afternoon. So yeah, let's see. Yeah, very interesting. This was completely different though. The emotionality here is nothing like what we're doing. But it's interesting how the percent is lined up, because what's going to happen is on our current bounce, we're going to bounce above the 50. The 50 is going to continue to rise, and then at some point we're going to intersect it, and on the way down, it might actually be the same number. So that is interesting. But we'll check that one out later. I think that was pretty much it. Yeah, these were just early day blow off top stuff. We didn't really spend a lot of time in green zones here. This might be our most like scenario, and it was 22 days. Okay, so with kind of our range of parameters, well, I'm kind of curious. I'll just put it in. What is this? 69 days, crazy. You can see how these are not that long. This one was pretty long. But yeah, I'd say 60 is probably getting close to the maximum. And we're at 44. So really, we've got 2 weeks to the absolute unbelievable longest, maybe a month. So our move is wrapping up. And the move wraps up when we exit the green zone, when we close below the 50. The 50 is always putting pressure on us because it's rising with our prices. And we can't stay above it forever. It would just be exponential. It has to cross back at some point. And so here are a couple of things to think about. We're going to be starting to remove some of these really low averages over the next week or so. So our average is going to get steeper, and then it'll start leveling off. But let me just draw what I think will happen. Our 50 is likely to get steeper. So we're going to get like this for a couple of days, and then it's going to slowly start tapering off, and it'll start leveling off in here because of this consolidation. So this is what I would expect on our 50. So if I'm curious to see what this move is. 72. Yeah, it would be interesting. It could be as high as 79, but I'm betting we get pretty close to this range. So if this happens, well, it's not going to slope down if we're staying above it. I guess my line isn't absolutely perfect. Okay, let me just redraw it. I'm thinking we go up pretty good, and then we start tapering. Let's try something like that. So, yeah, where is 3 weeks from now? Okay, 14 days is here. This is 2 weeks. In this time, could we have a bull trap and cross the 50? It's looking pretty likely. Pretty likely. You can kind of see why I'm skeptical of this move. Within the next 14 days, do we cross this black line that I've drawn? It could happen. It could happen. Let's put 21 days on the thing. So if we got really excited and started moving higher and had a fake out bull trap, similar to what happened here, where we got even higher than our other before we came back down, 21 days, could we return back? I mean, the black line would be steeper if we did do something like that. But we're starting to wear out our upside. And then the most insane thing that could possibly happen is we last 30 days. And so that means we'll have had a pretty good top. If we're still running in 30 days, man, now I'm getting really scared. Like, we're not going to have a third leg on our little, Elliott wave. We're not going to be having that third. The last one will break down because we've overextended. So this might be it for this current bit. And so here's another question to answer. From the bottom of this to the bottom of this whole thing was a 70-day revolution. From really ramping up to finding our top, getting toppy, pulling back for support, it was 70 days. And then if I take it from here and we take this out 70 days, that puts us here. So if we were to mirror what we just did, breakdown happened 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, a week earlier. So, yeah. So a week earlier would be here, like breakdown would be right around here. You can just see how a bull trap is happening. That's my opinion. It's, obviously none of this is built in stone, but when you kind of look at the best case scenario and look at some information from the past, this is why I'm always nervous when we get into these green zones. As much as I want Bitcoin to just go up forever and ever and ever, things have to happen in a reasonable, rational pattern. And a lot of retail might be excited today. Oh, finally, we're back into the greens days again. Look at this big fat, what is this? Massive 1,500, 1,436 day. Like big numbers. We're doing it again. We're out of here. I'm going to buy in with all I've got. We're going straight to the moon. This makes me nervous. And the top is probably here. If we even really overextended before we got too crazy. But that's kind of where that's where my mind is at on this. All right, now let's look at another situation that might strengthen the case. Let's look at this move in a little bit more detail, because I am seeing a Wyckoff distribution. Let me just pull up my favorite picture. Oh, sorry. Wyckoff distribution. Just pulling it up now, sorry. Here it is. All right. So what is happening is we've had a phase A. Phase A pulls us up, gets us up into a buying climax. Now the buying climax is usually the biggest bar. It's usually, this would have been the buying climax, but because we ranged in this area for so long, that's why I've moved my range up a little bit higher. Because what happens is we hit a buying climax and then we pull back to a local area of support. And this is automatic reaction. But so what happens is you get up and then you kind of fall down. You kind of have your first drop. Well, our first drop was pretty minor. And this was the bottom that we maintained for pretty much the rest of the time. I'll go ahead and move this so we can see. Oops. Okay, so we hit a top of our range, and we've kind of established a trading range. And this range is super important because that kind of holds our structure, and we're in this range right here. But what we have in the middle of the range, and especially near, after a little while, because we kind of had this wild throw to the outside on a couple of these, but this one here is our show of weakness. Boom, show of weakness. This one here is our up thrust right here. And then we came back to the playground. We're playing around, having a good old time. And then we have a breakout of the top of this. Now, where does this melt down? This melts down if we start consolidating in a range above here. But see, we dropped right back down into our trading range, which made this our up thrust after distribution. So that's this section here. We had all of that up above our trading range, and then we popped back down into our trading range. Now you should not normally get back up above here. So that's why this one is a little bit odd. But what we're looking for is a last point of supply. So we have some kind of a move to the upside so that whales can get more liquidity before they take this thing down. So that's the way it looks to me. Is it textbook? Maybe, maybe not. But are a lot of the emotions similar? Yes. There's a lot of similar emotion because we've consolidated. We had a fake breakout, and now we're breaking out again. We've done something wrong. We needed to not break this. Breaking this puts all kinds of downward pressure on our move. Getting back here, because look how close we got with this wick. It was so close to the bottom of this range, but that it still respected it. It just shows you that this range is in play. So you don't want to leave a very strong consolidation range, break out, and then get back into it. That's not good stuff. It's not doing it. It's not. There's a lot of problems with the structure of this. This next move. It just feels and looks like a bull trap to me. Does that mean I'm fully bearish on Bitcoin and I don't think it's going to ever go anywhere? No, of course not. But I have to read the chart for what it is, and there's a problem because there's a gap between 25,000 and 26.8. There's a missing structure here, and if we have to have a bull trap to go back down and fill this structure, then that's what it takes. By the way, phase E, where you're having a full meltdown, it doesn't have to be very, very intense. Phase E could be to the 25,000. It doesn't mean we're going to just go to zero. I don't see any case where this is going to hit 12,000 like some of the doomers are still preaching. That is insane. I can't believe how stubborn would you have to be to still think you were going to 12,000 at some point. That really seems hard to believe. But we've got a change happening. There's a change happening in here, and so retail's getting excited again. But whales are most likely looking at this like, sweet. Finally, we got some sweet liquidity exit here, and we'll pick it up where it makes sense back down here. So Wyckoff is in play. There's a structural situation going on. The length of time we've been out of the green zone is in play, or the time that we've been in a green zone. What will be awesome is if we can get out of the green zone way up here before we pull back. I mean, I would absolutely love it if we consolidated here for like 4 or 5 days and then started tipping back, because it'll give our 50 as much time as possible to get up here. Because breaking the 50 is a 10 to 15% drop almost in the books. Like from the 50, this move was 15%. And if I go back in history, it's 10, 15, 20%. If we had broken this here and gone down 15%, we're in trouble because we lost all of our supports. That's not looking good. I don't think there's a case where we want to see that happen right now. But if we allow our 50 to come up for 2 more weeks, oh yeah, where's my sweet drawing I just made? Oh yeah, I don't know. I think this really could be steeper. Anyway, let's just say it continues up here and we give it a solid couple of weeks. What is 2 weeks from now? Probably the 10th, somewhere in here. If we come down from here 15%, 14%, look at that. That would be phenomenal. That would be a clean exit of the green zone. It would be a solid pullback. It would give us everything we want and maintain our structure. This is really shaping up to be perfect. It would be so bullish for us to do this long term, because if we had a bull trap and we languish up here for a little bit, we lose the green zone, and we have kind of a pre-planned 10%, 15%. That's what these usually bakes into this type of thing. It would still find perfect support on the right area. Plus, on the weekly, it would put us at 25, which would be right in here. If we could intersect these wicks here, and even if we bounced and stayed above our 200, like this would be so bullish. I mean, that's kind of when, yeah, I know, it would just be amazing. It would really be really, really good for the price. So there's a lot happening here. And anyway, there are a lot of other nuances, but that's probably a pretty good spiel for for our live stream today. I've gone on without a break for 36 minutes, Let me check a few things in chat here. We got Jake. Calvin, I have to go, but I thank you for your analysis. These markets are tough to trade, so it's great to have professionals' point of view. If you have time to look at algo for me, I would love to. Algo. Let's see here. Algo, there we are. Whew. Yikes. It's looking a little rough. Let me go to the daily. Yeah, algo's in a red zone. Red zone. There might be a chart with more history. Maybe I'll go look for a chart with a little more history. Let's try Binance. Seems like everything that ever started there. Yep, that's a lot of history. Holy cow. Algo. Wow, he came on scene at its all-time high. Dang, brutal. Yikes. That's a rough drop. 16 cents from opening at $3. Okay, all right. Well, so we're in a red zone. We've dropped for a long time. This was FTX. So we were trying to stabilize finally. FTX happened and it just never recovered. In fact, we found resistance on the bottom of our consolidation. So this just really wiped us out pretty hard. The thing that we had going for us was that we had a higher high and we were kind of climbing and doing the right thing. And boy, this just weakened out. We did put in a lower low. So this is still in a downtrend. What could happen is we could bounce a little bit, but until we break 23.5 cents, this market is pretty rough. Is there money to be made? Yeah, but I'd be waiting a long time for a good consolidation. If this exits the red zone, I'd be all over this. But yeah, this is pretty ugly. I wouldn't be trying to find a long here. And we're so low, I wouldn't even be looking for shorts here. This is just really a no man's land. ADA hit the green zone. This is Charlie on the daily. Sadly, I think it was because of Bitcoin's movement the last few days makes me think. That's what's making me think, thinks there's more consolidation coming. Yeah, there's something going on. If Bitcoin really is doing a bull trap, and it's not guaranteed. I don't know. Oh, let me get to the right place. If this ends up being a bull trap, alts are going to get massacred. Because look at Bitcoin dominance. Bitcoin dominance, we have been ranging in this range for a very long time. very long time. And when Bitcoin dominance is rising and Bitcoin price falls, that is the worst combination. If this, the problem with the structure of this is that, I mean, potentially there's a bull trap here, but we've done so much consolidation in this area that I don't know if it's a gut instinct or, yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know how to explain what I'm seeing, but it feels like this is a continuation. It feels like we've had a strong move, a consolidation, and no sign of weakness, and we're kind of looking to move up again. I kind of feel like, you know, I know it's not going to go up forever, and maybe it won't last too long, but if Bitcoin has a bull trap, I don't think money will flow into alts. You know what I'm trying to say? I see a case where Bitcoin dominance could remain where it is or potentially increase. And if Bitcoin's falling and Bitcoin dominance is stable or increasing, alts are getting destroyed. So alts have not really moved. They just haven't gotten off the ground. Here's others' dominance. This is all of the microcaps. They are just getting destroyed. It's just not happening yet. And if you look at the microcap market cap, it's been fairly stable, but we're below our 50, we're below our 100, we're below our 20. There's a lot of stuff that we're resisting against. And if Bitcoin pulls back, these babies are probably going to reject. And so, yeah, I've done a couple of things in anticipation of this potential pullback where I've kind of hedged some of my positions a little bit too much just in case the alts fall more than I expect. So it's part of that whole risk management. It's trying to find that balance in the portfolio where you're kind of capturing what you can. And alts, see, I'm kind of a patient trader, so I'll sit in an upside down position for quite a while. Well, I've been in an upside down position for a while because I think I went long like right in here. After I had kind of taken profits on most of it, I was waiting for pullbacks for quite a few things, and I kind of caught it right in this zone. So I'm upside down on a lot, and I'm just going to let them ride because I know eventually we'll get there, but it could be a wait. Like no sugarcoating. It could be a wait. If Bitcoin drops back, I bet alts will reject and they will pull back pretty hard. Bitcoin dominance could stay strong and they could drop. So I'd be in a place where I'm watching to hedge against some downside if you've got a lot of alts. It's kind of the way I'm reading that whole thing. Pascal wants to see GRT. Spencer says you've got the superpower of risk management. that's my goal. My superpower used to be patience. Now it is trying to find that mix of risk management. And I think having the pro channel helps me because I realize that I can't just make dumb moves. You know, there's a little bit of you know, there. It's interesting. It's kind of the same thing of, would you make the same trade in front of a conference room full of suits as you do sitting in front of your computer all alone in the basement? And you want to get to the point where you can explain why you're in every position you're in or what you're doing about it if things are going wrong. It's just the mindset you got to be in. All right, let's look at GRT real quick. Let's see. Here it is. Yeah. So GRT did re-enter a green zone, but it does not make me feel super comfortable that we had a candle body close below this point here. If you're in a bull market, you want to be doing higher highs, higher lows. We are now having an equal or lower low, and that does not bode well for the next high. So the fact that we're kind of rejecting off the 20, we barely have the 50, it's pretty tough. This is definitely kind of saying, this is kind of the explanation of what happened to alts. Alts did amazing. We had a amazing run off the bottom, and then they've just absolutely gone flat. And then put this picture of the shape of this chart in your mind, and now look at Bitcoin. Huge move off the top. Did we absolutely go sideways? No. Bitcoin's destroying everything. It's way outpacing alts. And so if Bitcoin's ready for a rest because it's done an amazing move up, and alts are in this situation where they've only gone sideways, a rest for Bitcoin is going to be a punch in the face for alts, in my opinion. I'm just looking at it, trying not to, trying to be as objective as possible. Charlie, the year of the chop. Bring it on. Better prices is never a bad thing. Yeah, there will be plenty of opportunity as long as you don't get you can't drink in the emotion of the year of the chop. Because at the most depressing time of year of the chop, we're heading back up. And at the most exciting time of the year of the chop, this is the top. We're heading back down. We can't get too excited. We're not in bull market mode yet. That all happens after the halving. And the halving is a year away. We're going to have lots of ups and downs. We've got to do a lot of structure creation in the next year to get the market in a place where it can handle a blow off top. And that requires a lot of pullbacks, lots of good, solid foundations and good footing. So, yeah, I'm nervous in this top upper range here. It's just the way I'm reading this, just my feeling of the charts. So yeah, as exciting as it is to wake up and see some green, I'm kind of seeing an opportunity to reevaluate risk and put the correct hedges in place. We're finding tons of, this is kind of like one of those last minute second chances kind of thing, because we could have just lost our support. We could have exited the green zone here. And I'm telling you, it is a death sentence, man. You get below the 50 and you're going to drop. So we could have done that without a break. Luckily, the market's given us a bounce. And, I'd give it a 20% chance that this ends up being a continuation. There could be something wacko out there that makes it happen, but I'm 80%. This is a bull trap, I mean, 20% is a big fat number though, so I wouldn't be putting bullets in a gun chamber at 20%, So you got to be prepared for anything, but yeah, it looks and smells and feels like this particular move is getting worn out. So Pascal, yep, that's why I think you're right. If Bitcoin gets down, alts will bleed. Yeah, I think so. Well, that was fun listening to me talk. Fairly few questions, which is fine. But I think I'll wrap it up here. I've got some things to do. But sorry about yesterday. I just really got so excited about doing some research, just analyzing some trade strategies and stuff. And when I get really in the zone, I stop sleeping and eating and everything. And I just get into it. And the pro channel knows what I'm talking about. Anyway, good times. I'll let y'all go. Dilemma says thanks, appreciate that. And Charlie, I used to trade coins in short term, but during the bull market. Now I switched gears. I'm only accumulating on pullbacks. I won't sell anything until the next big run. Yeah, it's true. As long as you can handle the downside, you can hold for a long time. Because when the bull market happens in 2024 and 25, everything will be, you can unload everything at a profit. So I feel like it's a pretty good, the worst case scenario is you're in an upside down position for a while. Well, who cares? If that doesn't knock you out of the game, then you're fine. You just don't be afraid to pull the exit trigger when prices are, in euphoria land. All right, you guys, it's been fun. I like Wednesdays. There's a lot going on, and we'll catch you next week on Wednesday. But other than that, I'll do my best to keep you guys updated with the next move. But yeah, 29,360, man. It's coming back a little. I don't know. Anyway, we'll see where this day closes. And we'll catch you guys later. See y'all. Thanks for making it to the end of my video. Make sure you keep those trades small. Don't force a trade. Don't get impatient. And if you want to see how all this works, please come over and check me out on the subscription channel at cryptoinfluencers.com. Again, the link is in the description.